Hi, I'm maryjo with Fourth Dimension Healing in Stillwater, Minnesota, and I'm also the director of the Center for Crystal and Healing Studies, which is my online school, and I'm the host of the Ask, Learn, Heal podcast. You can take a look and explore the various ways that I offer healing and teaching and support and mentoring through my various practices, and you can find links below this video for that. Now, actually, I want to spend just a little bit of time talking with you about gemstones and crystals that can be really helpful when we experience headaches. But before we get into them, I want to be really clear that as a nurse, I live in two worlds. I live in the Western allopathic healthcare model, where we go to the provider, we work with physicians, nurse practitioners, and other types of healthcare providers to support us. And then we also have an opportunity to work in the complementary and alternative healthcare field, and that's the other world I live in. So I've got Western and more complementary and alternative. And it's the complementary and alternative forms of healthcare. Those systems are where energy and crystal healing land. So keep in mind, I'm always balancing the two, and I say that because if you are experiencing headaches, it is important that you follow up with your healthcare provider and see what they may have to say about what might be going on for you, as well as working with energy healing and crystal healing to support you, okay? So I have 3 different stones I want to talk with you about today. They're completely different, and I hope that by the end of this very short video, you are going to have a sense of how to maybe discern which ones might be helpful for you. The first one I want to talk about is hematite or hematite. It is an iron oxide. It resonates at about a 5 or a 6. Not resonates, it actually has a hardness of about 5 to 6 on the Mohs hardness scale. And if you're not familiar with that, I do have other videos where I reference a lot of different aspects of crystal healing, some of which I may talk about during this short video. And to access some of those other informations and offerings that I have, you can simply just go ahead in the search bar within my YouTube channel, just go ahead and type in Mohs hardness scale or hematite, and you'll be able to find other videos where I talk about that. So that's just a little aside. So here we have hematite, and hematite is very grounding. It's actually physically very heavy, and it is a kind of stone that can be really helpful to get us really anchored in a physical body. Now, even though when we're having headaches, we have issues going on up here in our head space, our brow chakra and our crown chakra, and those energies within our energy pathways within our head are not flowing properly. For some reason, there is kind of a tangle, my word would be kind of tangled up. It's almost like there's a yarn ball that needs to kind of be softened up so that flows much more effectively. The energy flows much more effectively. So what hematite is doing, even though it's not a stone that works way up here, it's helping to drop, in my experience, drop some of that kind of bogged down, encumbered, tangled up energy down through the chakra system and down to the earth. And so when we're working with physical issues showing up in our body, earth is always going to be able to support it. And so that's the hematite. I also have this other little one I wanted to show you, just again, to show you do not necessarily have to have a large piece. If you have something like this would be great. In fact, when I've had headaches in the past, sometimes what I'll do is I'll take a small stone like that piece of hematite, put it on the top of my head, put a little cap on to keep it up there. Sometimes I'll lay down with it above my head. Sometimes I'll rest with holding 2 pieces of hematite, with the intention of what I'm doing is grounding that extra activity that's going on energetically in the brain space, dropping that down so that it can kind of get grounded back into the earth. So that's hematite. Now, the next one I want to share with you is a fairly common crystal. It is known as amethyst. Amethyst is one of the 5 members of the quartz family. It's silicon dioxide, and depending on the amount of aluminum or iron in the particular crystal, it will either be very, very light pale lavender all the way through a very deep violet purple. It's all amethyst. Here's another example of a piece of tumbled amethyst. I'm holding them carefully because sometimes they get a little slippery and I don't want to drop them. Amethyst being a stone that works with those upper chakras, the brow and the crown chakras, it resonates with the wind element, which means it's going to be really helpful for clearing out and kind of releasing some of that energy that is kind of trapped up and imbalanced up in our head space. So amethyst can be a wonderful crystal to work with when we intentionally are choosing to just kind of unweave and unravel that thread of energy, that pattern that's kind of mixed up, okay? Here's another piece. This is a chunk of raw or rough amethyst, and I want you to recognize that all of these are amethyst, and it may be that you have a tumbled piece, it may be that you have what's known as or referred to as a point, it could be that you have a chunk of what appears to be very unpolished, very unpretty type of amethyst. It's still all amethyst. It's still going to be able to work really effectively. You could consider perhaps holding that with the intention that you were going to just really take in those properties and release the tangled up unsettledness within your energy field. Crystal healing is about the properties and the qualities and the minerals within the crystals, as well as intention. So holding a piece of amethyst, putting it in my pocket and saying, okay, headache, go away, is not going to be particularly effective. There is an important partnership that we have with our crystals and gemstones that we work with. So this particular stone would be, how do we approach headaches from the head space? Whereas the hematite, how do we approach it from that grounding place, okay? The third one I want to talk with you about that I found also really effective in working with headaches is blue kyanite. Now, blue kyanite is a gemstone that resonates with the storm element. If you're not familiar with the system of elements I work with, go ahead and check out all my videos because I have a lot of information about the various types of stones that I'm talking about today, as well as the elements. So kyanite is an aluminum silicate, and it's an interesting gemstone. Here's another piece. You can see it often is going to be found in these blades. And when it comes to how hard it is, it has about a 4 to 5 hardness if we run it this way, and if we cross the axis, it's going to be more like about a 6 to a 7. So that's kind of unique with this particular type of crystal. One thing I like about the kyanite and why I believe it can be really helpful with headaches is because it balances all of the chakras. It helps all those chakras come back into balance. So if we have a headache because we're a little top heavy, from an energetic perspective, it's going to help get all of those chakras all the way down to that root chakra open and balanced, so that that energy flow is going back up and down our chakra column much more effectively. Working with blue kyanite, again, it could be that you're going to hold it in your hand while you're resting. It could be that you're going to place it up above your head while you're resting. You'll have heard, if you've heard other videos of mine, or you may, if you continue to pursue some of my videos, hear me talk about slipping them, crystals and gemstones, inside the pillowcase so that we can rest with them. And that works great with hard, durable, tumbled stones. That would not be a stone that I would recommend. Kyanite would not be a stone I recommend doing that with, because it is potentially very easy to kind of break in half, because again, that hardness varies by going vertical or horizontal. So those are just 3 different approaches to how to work with headaches after you have, of course, reached out to your healthcare provider. Hematite, really grounding, so we're working with that earth stone, earth energy first, drawing those imbalanced energies down. Amethyst, working up at the top, clearing and rebalancing from that top, and then allowing that just to dissipate. And then the final one is working with the blue kyanite, which again is going to be doing top to bottom, root all the way up to crown, crown all the way down to root. And it's going to be a really wonderful way to be able to support that releasing of that kind of disoriented. It's an energy that's just like, it needs to just get moving. And so it's not necessarily inherently wrong, but there's definitely an imbalance going on, and these stones can all help with that. Of course, also I'm going to say, make sure you're eating well. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you hydrated? All of those also are factors that play into headaches. So I hope this has been helpful. Reach out to me if you have questions. You can send me an email. You can chat right through my website. If I am online, I will chat right back. I am more than happy to answer your questions. If you're curious about what I carry in my online shop, or if you'd like to learn a little bit more about the hematite, amethyst, and blue kyanite, go on out to my online shop and simply click on those links for those various stones. You can learn about them and connect with their healing properties. Take a look at the links below this video. I look forward to hearing from you if you have questions. For now, I simply wish you many blessings. Be well.